This is how I travelled for 3 weeks, trained less than ever, ate intuitively, and came back just as strong. If you're travelling, busy, or feel like your training has to be perfect to count, consider this a behind-the-scenes look at the truth. Ta-da! Boiled eggs for the flight. Don't worry, I didn't eat boiled eggs the whole trip. I'm not some bodybuilder. I enjoyed all the foods that were available to me. So delicious. I was going to make the most of all the fresh vegetables and seafood and tropical fruit. Baby pineapple. A mini one. It's so sweet, it's like sugar. Instead of long workouts, I focused on movement. Walking everywhere, exploring on foot. Baby pineapple. Letting my body stay active without forcing it, especially the first few days where we were all super jet lagged. We spent most of the time eating and admiring the food, including the amazing views of this place. Today we're going on a little hike up, like parallel to the waterfall. So yeah, it's a nice thing to do when it's a little bit rainy in this tropical paradise. This YouTube video isn't a program, it's more like letting you in on something. I brought my phone with me almost every day so you could see the real movement that actually happened. Oh my god!
Oh, what are you doing? Oh,
Hey.
I think it'll be quite close now.
slow pace. Slow pace.
Got my bag, plastic bag inside.
Well, you were thinking to have a nice stay in the beach, yeah?
Simon wanted to stay in the beach. Today was a chilled out day. Things got intense fast. Yeah, soaked. Oh! See, we were soaked. Okay, it wasn't all adventure. I wish it had been. Sometimes it was plain old boring gym. Calisthenics became my anchor. Push-ups, core work, mobility, simple strength that I could do anywhere. Nothing fancy, just consistency when it made sense. And when a hotel had a gym, which was a few times, I was lucky with that. I used it mostly to lift heavy when I could and run on a treadmill when my body wanted it. Many of my workouts consisted of simply using one set of dumbbells. I think there was only the 10.5 kilogram ones available here. Well, the ones that I could use for my workout, so I just centered it around that. To be honest, I was more excited about just being in this amazing paradise of a place. So peaceful. And yep, if you know me, you can guess the first thing I did. I think what constitutes a true holiday or vacation is not necessarily going abroad, even though I'm very privileged I've been able to, but it's a break from the monotony and routine of the norm, and it's a time where you can dedicate almost the whole 24 hours of your day to doing things that you love and truly cherish, and for me, that is movement. Movement brings me joy, it's never been a chore. Exploration in these new exotic places is walking about and moving in any ways we like, whether that be swimming or dancing. Somewhere along the way, we started treating movement like a chore, something we have to earn or force. But the moment you see it as a luxury, everything shifts. Moving your body becomes something you get to do, not something you're obliged to do. And when you approach it that way, it stops feeling like a discipline and starts feeling like desire, something you crave, just like a really good dessert. Not because you should, but because it feels good to move. Anyway, enough of that inspirational talk. I mostly just moved around in the sun and got a very large X-shaped sunburn on my chest and spent the rest of the trip pretending I was an X-Men character. That's what happens when you try and wear fancy swimming costumes. One of the best things about being somewhere new is the sheer amount of walking you do compared to when you're at home in familiar surroundings. And for me personally, it's extra cool because it leads me to finding new foreign calisthenics parks to have fun in.
I'm in a calisthenics park over here, and the first one I've seen where it comes with a little sink, so if you get, iron and stuff from the metal, you can wash your hands. Random sink there. And then lots of cool things like a Ninja Warrior one where you have to spin. We've even got some rings and a hula hoop.
Okay, I don't know if you guys have ever been asked this question about what is your major talent, or what's one thing you could bet your life on, you could do really well and be the best in the crowd. And for me, that's hula hooping. It comes so naturally to me. I've never actually done this because it would be extremely boring and tiresome, but I genuinely feel I could hula hoop for hours and hours on end. And I don't really come across wild hula hoops in parks in random countries often, so you bet I was going to hula hoop if I found one. In fact, this whole calisthenics park reminded me a lot of a children's playground. I've often said that calisthenics parks are like adults' playgrounds, but this one generally looked like one. Perhaps it was the primary colours.
No te des la vuelta, que igual te das. Aquí está muy bien,
Wait, there's a reason for this pointless, endless footage of me hula hooping again. I wouldn't blame you if you skip this part. I spent most of the session doing this. The plan was to do pull-ups with hooping, which I've never seen done before, even on the internet. But I was convinced I could. Unfortunately, the bars were way too close together that had the hoops that I was originally doing pull-ups on, so the hula hoop kept smashing into them and falling every time I tried. This explains the long stretch of footage that is just me hooping. Enjoy. Actually, it wasn't just the rings. If you look at the red bars behind me, that really tall bar, it's just way too narrow to be able to hula hoop and do pull-ups. One day, I shall complete this mission and show you.
Ahora se va mi enemigo. Now, almost. Up a bit the button. No, down. Now. Up a bit.
pool outside. This is what I'm working with today. 2 little treadmills, some yoga mats that I won't use, and no pain, no gain. It's never painful for me because I love the gym. It's cool because I'm by myself at the gym now. So I don't know how to use the machines. I've never really used them much in my own gym. So I stick to the weight section. And this gym is good because it has various different weights. As opposed to the first one that only had, I think, a 10.5 kilogram dumbbells, pair of dumbbells. How many have I done? I'm supposed to do 8 reps. Just doing a circuit. Do I have a pump yet? By the way, this was looking so good this morning, but I had a massive breakfast because it was an all-you-can-eat. I'm currently sucking my stomach in. This is reality. But yeah. Suck it in.
How about that? Even doing legs.
Everything we've been told about fitness says that when we go on holiday, we stop being healthy. Like staying fit only works when life is perfectly controlled. I didn't want this trip to feel like damage control, but I also didn't want fitness to control my entire experience. I just focused on simply staying in motion. No plan, no pressure. This trip completely changed how I think about fitness. It's not about doing more, it's about doing what fits with the season you're in. So fitness should support your life, not stop you from living it. If you're traveling, busy, or in a phase where life doesn't allow perfection, this is your permission to adapt, not quit. You don't lose gains because you live. You lose them when you stop moving altogether. Strength doesn't disappear when structure does. It stays when you keep moving. As always, thank you so much for watching. I headed to another country straight after, and I'll be sharing how travel and training looked there in the next video, so I'll see you in that one. But if you've made it all the way to the end, then drop a comment if you figured out where I was in this video. Ciao!